Welcome to Conversations with Asha and Steve, where communication matters. Join us as we discuss effective ways to communicate, bridge the gaps, and build long-lasting relationships within your business and life. Here are your hosts, Asha Prasad and Steve Harper.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Conversations with Asha and Steve. I am your co-host, Steve Harper, and unfortunately today, my co-host, Dr. Asha Prasad, is not able to join us. She had a bit of a tragedy occur, passing of a real close friend that is going to prevent her from joining today, but our thoughts and prayers are with her. But I wanted to continue because we have been promoting this all week, and I wanted to at least get the episode up and do some live streaming. And actually, it's going to tie into the topic that we were going to talk about. And we're not going to we're going to come back and revisit this with Asha when she is back. But one of the things that we were going to talk about today are what are some of the secrets that you have as an entrepreneur that could benefit you. And so I want to dive into that today. I know it seems a little odd that you're just tuning in for a conversation with two of us, and unfortunately, one of us is not here. I did think about getting Wilson from Castaway to sub in for Asha, but unfortunately, he was tied up. I don't know. He's in demand, I guess, and so just having a follow-on guest host, whatever, I just figured, heck, I'm just going live streaming. That's what I'm going to do, and it kind of ties into one of the secrets of entrepreneurship that I want to talk to you about today, which is kind of, I think, kind of probably my secret sauce. And, we'll go into a few more strategies and ideas that Asha will have when she comes back. But one of the things I wanted to get on today was when I first got her text this morning, we were talking about canceling the show. And those of you that have been tuning into the podcast or have been watching our live streams probably have heard me say, I don't like getting on camera. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I make videos for the Ripple Effect channel, and I do them, but I've desperately tried to get Ryan Reynolds to just sub in for me. I think my subscribers would go way up. I think Dr. Asha would be much happier with her co-host if it was somebody like him. However, stuck with this. And it's kind of interesting because the fear that I legitimately have about live streaming is getting on, flipping the camera on, and just talking and being in a situation where, hey, you're just going to be there and you're going to be open, you're going to be raw, you're not going to be able to edit. And I sat there and I was looking at this text and I was thinking very seriously about whether we should potentially just postpone today's episode. And then I thought, darn it, this is one of the things that has become my secret strategy as an entrepreneur is doing what scares you, going and doing the things that other people don't see or don't believe in you that you can do, and finding an avenue to overcome that fear and carry on. And I look back kind of driving into the office and getting the studio prep today, and it just seemed different, right? Because it was lonely because, Asha's usually on with me and we're kind of chit-chatting as we're getting everything kind of tooled in relative to the episode. And unfortunately, we weren't together, right? And I felt it. And so as we got closer to the top of the hour, my heart started pounding. I started like, oh man, should I do this? Should I not? Should I just get on and go, hey, really sorry. Today's episode has been postponed. If you're joining us late, Dr. Asha Prasad, my co-host, is normally here, but she had a passing of a really good friend and was just not up to going live today. And so our thoughts and prayers go out to her and all those affected by this loss. But when I was sitting here trying to think whether I should even do this or not, it reminded me that this is sort of what we go through as entrepreneurs when we're starting with our idea, right? We see something, maybe a problem that needs to be fixed. We have a product idea or a service idea that really we think either we can do it better than what we see out there in the marketplace, or we have this great idea, right? This great, phenomenal thing. And we really want to, kind of hone in on this. We know that we could bring it to the table and offer it to a market. And then you have those doubts. Well, what if it doesn't sell? What if nobody, you bring it out, nobody cares, right? And, you're putting all this money on the line, or you're putting all this time on the line, and it's a big risk. And it's pretty amazing how fear really holds us back from doing the things that we're really destined to do. And so even though I'm not a super polished or amazing live streamer, Asha has actually pushed me to do our podcast on live stream because she feels like this helps us connect with our audience a little better, helps us be more relatable. And obviously it's not just a voice in your ear, but if choose to tune into the live stream or the rebroadcast on YouTube or Periscope or Facebook, it makes us do it. And so I kind of thought it would be silly not to do today's episode because I would be letting fear sort of control me and control the situation. And we did this show as entrepreneurs because we're very focused on trying to deliver great quality content and value to the people that tune in. And it seemed like that would be a cop-out. It seemed like something that was actually going to be something I was going to talk about during our conversation anyway, about how fear has been a big motivator to me taking the chance anyway. You get to the edge of the cliff and you dive. It does not matter. And I think that's what entrepreneurship is in a lot of ways. You have to find an avenue to be able to overcome that fear and just push play and go, right? So today is kind of, a proof positive of that. I hope, because I don't have my co-host, that you're not tuning out because it's like, oh man, I don't want to see this guy. I don't want to talk to this guy. And that's fear, right? That's fear coming back to me like, oh my God, nobody's going to tune in. Nobody's going to care. Oh my God, nobody will worry, want to be here. So, I start worrying whether I should have even done this. And those self-doubts, start to take hold, and then they just clamp on, and then you start panicking, you start worrying, and these things just, have this nasty way of messing with you. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. And I think actually every great successful entrepreneur that I've ever talked to has had this problem and run into this challenge. And so I kind of thinking back to when we started this podcast, Conversations with Asha and Steve, and Asha and I talking about, just our experiences as entrepreneurs, where we have been along this, entrepreneurial journey, this path, and all the things that we felt like that have been challenges to us and tried to, that could have really held us back, and how we pushed through. We just didn't let happen. And when we started thinking about the episodes that we could potentially do, I thought, we might get like maybe 5, maybe 10 episodes. Maybe we'll do a season or 2. And now I think Asha said we're in season 5, which is kind of crazy. 5 or 3. I don't know. They all blend together. It's been a long time. We've been doing it for a long time. And yet people keep coming back and keep seeming to appreciate what we have to say. And so I thought back to that, because even when we pushed record and nobody was watching, nobody was even, there when we were recording these episodes. And my heart was pounding, and I was like, oh my God, this is like, I'm going to be horrible. And I started thinking about, all the things that you struggle with as a public speaker. Share a little story about fear and how it kind of creeps in and kind of tries to undermine you a little bit. But I had brought out my book, The Ripple Effect, Maximizing the Power of Relationships for Your Life and Business. And a good friend of mine said, well, now that you brought the book out, you're going to have to speak. I'm like, no, I wanted to be a writer. I didn't want to be a speaker. She's like, nope, that's the only way you're going to get out there. People are going to find out about it, and they're going to want to learn more about it. You got to get out there and talk. And I remember doing it a few times, and I was pretty scared. I was pretty concerned that what I was saying, what I was doing really just didn't, maybe have a whole lot of value. And really at the end of the day, when I targeted my book, I really thought it was going to be for a very small audience of people. And then I found as it got out there and got a little bit of legs underneath it, people were coming to me, people out in the community, successful business owners and entrepreneurs that in a million years never would have thought had any kind of confidence challenges or struggled to connect and build their networks. And I realized my book was really kind of hitting a target, and it was great. And so what do you want to do then? You want to refine your skill set and you want to get better. And so I decided I would sign up for Toastmasters at the suggestion of a good friend that had been in it for a while. So I found a club in North Austin, and I went, and I kind of sat back in the, kind of the peripheral. I didn't really want to participate. I'm just trying to absorb and look and watch. And fear was definitely present in that environment, but then they forced you to get up. I guess they kind of let you sit there for maybe a meeting or two, but then after that, it's participatory. You're required to do something. So they have these little flash talks or whatever they call them now. And, you'd have to get up and talk about a topic for 2 to 3 minutes. And some folks had, during those meetings, had longer talks. Kind of, they were, sort of the whole baseline of the meeting. So you'd have to give a little bit longer, meatier topic, and then they would evaluate you. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just do it. And I did them. And I never in a million years have been so self-conscious of my life. The ums, the ahs, the pauses, oh my God. I thought I was a pretty decent speaker, not great, but decent before I went. And then now, every time I was speaking outside of Toastmasters, I was like uber conscientious of how I was coming across and how many ums did I say and ahs and knows and these little tics, these little verbal tics that tend to come up when you're trying to come up with the right words and have the right conversation with your audience. And so it was funny because the challenge there was finally figuring out that I just didn't give a crap. I'm me, and I'm going to do the best possible job that I can when I'm out there speaking or presenting or giving a training at a corporation, and you get what you get, right? And that was somewhat liberating. And so for a number of years, I did it and didn't make any apologies. And sometimes I got dinged on evaluations, or a conference, organizer would say, people either thought you talked too fast or you were too excited or whatever. And I've been around those speakers that are like, yeah, so we're going to be talking about the power of networking today. This is just riveting material, and you are going to be at the edge of your seat. And I am so grateful to be here talking to you. And you would be like, ah. So I didn't want to be that guy. I also didn't want to be that, hey, we're going to be the power of connecting and the power of rippling, man. You are going to absolutely love this. It is going to blow your doors off. I'm like the equivalent of Tony Robbins, and we're going to get everybody motivated, pumped up. You're going to go out there, you're going to change the world. And I didn't want to be that guy either. I just want to be me. So I kind of found my rhythm, and I kind of stopped listening to that self-doubt, that negative talk that was kind of pervading. Oh, you did an oh, you did a pause. Oh, do you have something hanging from your nose? Oh my God, what are we doing? Those people are looking at you. Oh my God, is your fly down? Got over all that stuff. And then it all came back when Asha said, hey, let's do this podcast. We're pushing record, like literally sitting in our offices. She's in a different part of the world than I am. She's in the Netherlands. I'm in Austin, Texas. And even pushing record, all those self-doubts, all those things just came crashing back to me. And it was very scary for a while. And so those early episodes probably aren't that great. She is amazing. She's always been amazing. She's just so easy to talk to, and the conversations with us just tend to flow. And so it's been always fairly simple to have the show and make it go. But then she comes up last year and she's like, hey, during the pandemic, we need to get people to see us for who we are. And I'm like, oh, that could be bad. We could definitely, for her, it could be good. For me, it could be bad. Won't be great. She was like, no, we need to do this. And I was like, okay, well, I invested in, some time and effort into figuring out the right technology and the different camera, approaches that we're looking to do and all these things. And bottom line, we really struggled to, kind of get that locked in. But once we did, and we decided, hey, we'll record some of these, I was okay with that because, I kind of gotten comfortable pushing record, and then we'd put this out later. And she's like, no, we got a live stream. That's what the cool kids are doing. And it was like all that fear and trepidation came running back again. And I realized that it is in a recurring theme for me as an entrepreneur, that there are things that take you out of your comfort zone, and there are things that are scary. And I actually think that certainly that's life's way of challenging you to see if you want to do something, if you really want to do something different. And if it's worth doing, you got to have that little bit of fear and trepidation, and you got to not listen to that self-doubt and that ego telling you you're going to be horrible, and you just go. Whole point of that is to tell you this morning, when this came up and Asha couldn't make it, it would have been easy for me to, just, put out a little notification. Hey, no conversations with Asha and Steve today. We'll be back soon. And then I could have just gone and got my coffee, and I could have just chilled and relaxed. No stress, no muss, no fuss. But that wouldn't have been good. And then I would have been okay during it. But somewhere around 9:30, 10 o'clock, I would have thought back to, man, we were supposed to go live this morning at 7, and we didn't. And what a disappointment I am, and loser. And people might have tuned in. I don't know who would have tuned in. I'm not even looking right now. I don't have the stats up. I don't even want to know who's there right now because I haven't figured out how to flip my screen yet. When Asha's talking, I've got the time to do stuff behind the scenes and do that kind of producer thing. But now I'm just me, and so now it's like just the camera's on. So I'm going to figure that out here in a second. Actually, I'm going to wow you with a couple of visuals this morning before we finish up. I hope go the way I expect it. But, I already threw Wilson up there, right? I was like, hey, Wilson, you want to be my co-host today? He's like, no, I'm busy, and you still owe me money. And so anyway, didn't do that. But, I decided around 9:30, 10 o'clock, I would have been disappointed myself. And I would have, felt like I missed an opportunity to get up here and have another conversation, even though that conversation is with me, the camera, and hopefully with you on the other side. So the biggest fear, I think, or I would say one of the biggest strategies for me being an entrepreneur is do what scares you, which ties into what I want to show you here. I hope I don't get blocked anywhere because I want to show this YouTube video. I don't know if this is a no-no. I guess I'll find out, but you know what? Sometimes you just got to do things that scare you and just make it so. So bear with me one second. I'm going to try and get this thing up here. Yeah, here we go. Wait one moment. There we go. That's not what we want. I don't even know if yeah, there we go. Here we go. Watch this.
To the haters, the doubters, my 7th grade vice principal. To everyone who's ever told anyone with a dream they can't. This video's for you. Keep your head down, follow the rules, do as you're told, play it safe. Wait your turn, ask permission, learn to compromise. This is terrible advice. If I were to write an autobiography, a book about my life, one title that would work would be Do What You Can't, because that idea encapsulates everything I've ever done. Like when I wanted to move to New York City and my dad was like, you can't, you don't have any money. Or when I first said I wanted to make movies and it was, you can't, you didn't go to film school. I want to have a TV show, you can't, Casey, you're not pretty enough. And to go even further, like if I were to characterize what this new generation of content creators and filmmakers, what we all do on YouTube and everywhere else is, we do what we can't.
J'ai 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh my God. You can't be an action movie filmmaker, but you get your parkour friends to dress up like video game characters, jump off some buildings, and you can. Right, Devin?
Yes.
You can't have a talk show, but you have a webcam and you can.
What's up, you beautiful bastards? What?
This is my first YouTube video ever.
Next thing you know, you're interviewing the president.
I heard that you're going to be out of a job soon.
Well, maybe I'll start a YouTube show
That's
or
what
something
I'm
like
thinking.
that.
You can't fly around New York City on a magic carpet, but get your electric skateboard, some PVC pipe, a great outfit, give Jesse a call, and you can. What do you think?
This is gonna be so dope.
You don't need gear, you don't need trucks or a crane, you don't need some big expensive camera rig that never works. When you're a creator, you don't need someone in your ear telling you what you can and can't do. I'm racing the subway! What you can and can't say.
I accidentally did the shocker. Oh my God.
They call us gamers, influencers, internet famous.
What the fuck does that mean?
But we know something they don't. You can start a vlog or a makeup channel. Or travel around the world with a gigantic piano playing it in beautiful places for interested people. When you're a creator, all you need is your phone, an internet connection, and a good idea. A story you want to share, something you need to say.
Confidence is within yourself.
And then the rest is history.
77, 77, 78, 79.
If you do it right, you get to quit the day job, make friends from places you've never been. meetups, collaborations.
It's just two boys and two video cameras.
A life moving so fast and so full, you won't even have time to process it.
Sur la plage, moment désertique.
So to my fellow creators, I say, keep creating, keep doing the work.
Hey guys! Au galop sur la plage, moment désertique. Au galop sur la plage.
And never forget, you don't have to listen to anyone, because in this new world, no one knows anything.
Hi, haters.
The haters, the doubters are all drinking champagne in the top deck of the Titanic, and we are the fucking iceberg.
81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. Sang, mon écueil, mon cercueil, vive les chevaux.
Do what you can't.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll come back here really quickly. Hopefully you guys could see that with no problem. I don't know because I wasn't looking. So I am I'm pretty sure that that went through. I don't know if anybody saw it or we're getting any comments. I'm going to move over here. If you've got comments on this, definitely let me know. If you're out there, I'm actually now on the screen where I can actually see them. So looks like we got a couple, but before I do share those, let me tell you why that video is important to me. I've been a big fan of Casey Neistat for a while. If you're not following him on YouTube, you're missing out. He's a great content creator. He's done some amazing things with his career, but he is kind of the epitome of that entrepreneur that says, hey, look, I'm going to do it anyway, right? Do what you can't. And just like today, pushing play, going forward, doing what I'm doing here, it was pretty amazing. But I played that video today when I got into the studio because I was like, I kind of need that motivation, that impact here, basically, just to see, what I need to do in order to keep going, right? To go ahead and push play and go live today, even though Dr. Asha is not with me. And it was a great reminder, and I wanted to share that. Candy, yeah, thank you for showing up, and you're always amazing, great supporter. I appreciate you being here, even if it's just me talking today. Thank you so much. I don't know about awesome, but that video is amazing for sure. It's one of my favorite. But Casey is one of those guys that he just gets out there and he does the things that he wants to do, and he loves creating content. He likes creating business models around that content and doing some amazing things. And so I'd encourage you to check him out. I'd also check out the Nike video that he did where he basically took $1 million and they wanted him to make a really great video, and he used that $1 million to travel around the world. He made the video around his adventure, but that was not at all what Nike expected him to do with the money. I don't think they were super happy about it. He didn't ask for permission. He just did it. And I think as a good entrepreneur, sometimes that's the attitude you've got to have, right? At the end of the day, if you want to be successful at anything that you do, my belief is that you don't ask for, it's better to ask for forgiveness than it is permission. And you just go do it. You just show up and you just do. And so those things are really, really important to me, because I think that as entrepreneurs, the biggest success is, or secret to success for me is, no matter what my doubters say, I'm going to do it anyway, right? And so kind of going back to my earlier story when I was, concerned about how I speak or how I look or all the different things that, tend to creep in those wee hours of the morning or the late night that tell you why you can't do something. It's like, hey, screw that, right? We're going to do it because as entrepreneurs, we have a vision. We see something that nobody else sees. We want to create what someone else has either created but didn't do a good job with, or something that hasn't been created because nobody saw it as the opportunity that we do, right? And so I think that is a critical factor. And so when it scares you, right, when you are, oh my God, you get that like, oh, should I do it? You're out of breath, like even thinking about it. That's when you should dive in with both feet and go for it, because that probably tells you that you're onto something that's pretty significant. So that's my take anyway. Candace is telling me I'm doing whatever, what everyone said was impossible right now. Taking care of my dad, working. What you're saying is so true. And you are my hero. I mean, you are, full-time caregiver, full-time worker. You are not only doing that, but you're also building your business on the side. I mean, you are the trifecta of amazing, and you are incredible. And you are so, so, so awesome. Yeah, I thought that's what you meant, but I wasn't sure. So yeah, she was meaning I'm doing what everyone said was impossible right now, and she is, and she's doing a great job of that. And you inspire me. You were one of my heroes, Candy. Just you doing what you do is incredible. Got a couple other comments here, which I greatly appreciate. If you've got some other things that you guys want to share, feel free to do so. I'll answer some questions before we drop off here. But how'd you get started as an entrepreneur? Pam H. I don't know if this is Pam H that I know. I know a couple of Pam H's actually. One in particular that watches this show. So Pam, if you drop this up on Twitter, let me know if it's you. But how'd I get started as an entrepreneur? I'm a really bad employee. Really bad. I realized that I need to be controlling my own destiny. I need to be doing my own thing. I need to be in control. And no matter who I worked for, where I worked, what I did, from my time at Jack in the Box to TJ Maxx to working at a law firm to a copier company, I always saw better, more efficient ways to do things. And that, I think, is what good entrepreneurs have. Is they have a vision for doing things better or more smartly. And you can't say that. That's not good English, Steve. Maybe with a better approach. How about that? I like more smartly. That's what I would do. Like you're doing it dumb, and I could do it better. If I was in control, making the decisions, we would be doing it better. I'm telling you right now. So I realized pretty early I was not a good employee. I'm not hireable as an employee. I always have and find ways to do things differently. And because of that, I've been able to create efficiencies and grow businesses, which is, it was kind of destined in my path that I was going to be an entrepreneur from probably about 10th grade on, when I had a really good teacher in school, for DECA and marketing education, Jay Stevenson, who just believed in me and said, one day you're going to run your own thing. And today I'm running 3. So, hey, he was right. He's like Nostradamus of awesomeness. Micah has a question. All my friends think going into business for myself is a big risk, and I don't think I should do it. Did you have people who didn't believe in you when you started? I think that's what you meant, Micah. Yes. Oh boy. Yeah, did I? From family members to like, hey, dude, you didn't even graduate college. And how are you going to get it? How are you going to make it in the world? And then you're going to get married and have a kid and you're going to be growing a business. What are you? It's just unrealistic. And there were a lot of doubters along the way. And, the thing that I would say, Micah, is it's really challenging because you have people there that you think are supposed to support you and believe in you. And when they are not, it's very tough. And it is... it's even, I think, in a lot of ways harder than those moments of by yourself when that self-doubt creeps in and whether you should or, you get scared. I spent many a nights laying in my bed, not being able to go to sleep because my brain wouldn't turn off because I was like, maybe they were right. Maybe I have completely screwed up everything. And, you just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I have always had this very long held belief that at the end of the day, those doubters that tell me I can't, I want to always come back to them and say, watch me, right? Watch me. I will prove to you that I can. And they actually become the fuel and motivation for me in a lot of ways. Here's another question from Christy Tomlin from Atlanta, Georgia. I have never had the pleasure of going to Atlanta, Georgia for anything other than being in your airport. I want to go there. If you know any companies, organizations that need some ripple, need some, any of that, I would be down to come to Atlanta. So just saying. I have a small MLM business, but my husband insists that I'm not an entrepreneur. Well, that's not very nice, husband. What do you think? Well, so here's the thing, Chrissy. I think, there are a lot of shady MLMs. Hopefully you're not with one of them, right? But at the end of the day, I think that there is a lot that can be learned from an MLM business about doing something. But when you are dependent on, to a certain degree, a product line or, a downstream or pricing structure, there are challenges to that business model that allow you to, you can find your limits, unfortunately, and you're not in complete control of everything. I believe that you are an entrepreneur because it takes a lot of guts and ambition to start an MLM business and go forward and do it definitely think that you are an entrepreneur. So I disagree with your husband there. However, you're not a true entrepreneur until you actually own it, right? Until you can get out there and you're not a full-on entrepreneur, I should say. I'm not taking anything away from the MLM business, but when you are in control of what your product or service is, and you're making all the decisions, all the calls, all the marketing, decisions, all the how do we present, how do we go about, how do I acquire my customers, how do I pay, how do I get paid, etc. It's that becomes a little bit more, I would say, sustainable for you in terms of a business model. But I have seen so many of my friends that have been in these different markets that MLMs give them the perfect training ground for how to really go out and grow their own business. I know one in particular that was doing a specific and very successful multi-level marketing product line that she did it for a number of years, built her contacts up, built her network up. And then when she was ready to take what that product was and then turn a service around it, she's been phenomenally successful, and in fact has actually turned her business into a franchise model. So I would take nothing away from what you're doing today, and I would say you're definitely an entrepreneur, but it's kind of like B school, right? It's kind of an entrepreneur school. You're getting to learn, the ins and outs of how to grow and expand that business with hopefully minimal risk, and be able to absorb everything that you possibly can. But then ask yourself, what do you really want to be doing out there in the world, right? And if you want to sell, Mary Kay for the rest of your life, or Tupperware or whatever it is, hey, that's great. Feel free to do that. But my guess is that business model at some point intrigued you because you thought about what was possible, right? What could I do out there in the world on my own doing something? So I think it's an awesome opportunity for you to take that experience, take it and grow upon it, and then start to ask yourself those higher level questions, right? What am I going to do with this experience? And is there something else out there that I could potentially grow, that I can control all of it? I think those things are the way to go. We have another comment in here from Katie. You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. You are, without question, my hero. I'm so grateful. And talk about such an amazing person. I met Candace a number of years ago. She actually hired me for an event that was being done here in Austin for an organization that no longer exists, and we know why. However, she and I stayed in contact because she was just you just meet people in your life that are like, you know what, that person is going somewhere, and I want to stay connected because I just want to watch what happens, because this young lady had so much ambition and so much drive and so much commitment to what she was doing. And she's had a few of the, cards not go her way in a few instances. And she continues to show up every single day, be authentic in battle. And she's doing it by caring for her dad and, going and working in a full-time job, and then working on her side business, which will eventually be her full-time business. And it will be amazingly successful. And I knew it right way back when. This is someone you can't tell no to, and that's what makes a great entrepreneur. And so I'm so, so grateful and proud of her, and just grateful that she still calls me a friend. So that's pretty awesome. We got one last one from Lisa Walters. I appreciate that. I can't believe you admitted to ever being scared. I've followed you for a long time, and you have always have such incredible confidence. Wow. That's pretty amazing. I am anything but confident. I think people are also surprised to learn when I tell people that I'm introverted and shy, which ties to that confidence factor. I never feel like I am confident about anything. Maybe it's that, that fear and trepidation that kind of spins up in my own brain, in the negative self-talk that I allow to control me sometimes. But I appreciate that. That means actually the world to me, because it means despite what I'm telling myself, I'm actually portraying something much different, which is great. And I am grateful for that. So thank you, Lisa. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you following me all this time, and hope you continue to do so. It's been a lot of fun. I never in a million years would have thought being an entrepreneur could have been this much fun, but it has. And it's taken me to various different directions in my career, but man, is it so much fun. I'm having a blast doing it. So thank you for that. So, guys, I really hope you don't mind that, I kind of decided to, come on, even though Dr. Asha couldn't be with us today. If you're joining us late, Dr. Asha had a close friend that passed away, and so she was not up to getting on the air today, and totally understandable. But I know that you are with me when we send our thoughts and prayers to her. It's been a really tough, little bit of time for her. And so, we just want nothing but, positive thoughts going her direction for sure. Let's see. Oh, we got, Senor Jorge, George, thank you. BS, you're supremely confident. Thank you. George, you knew me way back when, man. You knew when there was lacking confidence. I put on a good act, though. I did. I definitely did. I appreciate that. So, one thing I wanted to share with you guys, Asha was going to come on today and talk about this, but she actually sent out something. By the way, if you go to theprasadmethod.com, you will actually find this. But she actually just hit on her own podcast, her 250th the Prasad Principles podcast episodes. I mean, she just hit the 250th episode, and she has some promotions that are going on right now that I wanted to share with you, just so you've got a little bit of perspective about what she's got going on. She was going to be on here to share it today, but obviously isn't. So I wanted to make sure that we got this included. Go to theprasadmethod.com and then /shop, and then use the code CELEBRATE to receive any of her great products. She's got a tremendous amount of offerings on her website that I highly recommend you check out. I also want to share that, where do you get these podcast episodes that she has? Well, here they are, right? So her link can be found off of her website, but she's hosting them on Libsyn, so you can just do a quick search on Libsyn for Dr. Asha Prasad. Actually, you can put Dr. Asha Prasad podcast in Google, and it comes up. But she has got just banging content on here. Her episodes are fairly short, but they are powerful. They are super powerful, and I'm a huge fan. So 250 episodes, my gosh, that is just amazing, Asha. I'm so proud of you. And I'd be remiss without sharing one last thing. Dr. Asha and I are actually doing what we call lightning strike coaching session, which is actually you get 2 coaches for the price of 1. This is just designed to be a situation where we can hone in and focus on a particular maybe circumstance, a particular relationship. Maybe you've got an idea that you're thinking about doing as your next business or opportunity. You know what? I'm sitting here. I'm not showing you these things. Hang on a second. Let me go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, see, this is what happens when I am not live. So let's restart. So here's our lightning strike coach session. You can find out more about that under Ripple at ripplecentral.com. Just type in lightning coaching and you'll find it. But basically, we've got these, kind of use an opportunity to have a single session with both of us on the line with you, and we can do it over video or over phone, whatever makes the most sense for you. But we can ideally just kind of tie this in a way that allows you to kind of, see how things are going and maybe hone in on a particular area that you want to focus on, better relationship, you want to start a business, you want to, whatever it is, the time is yours and we are at your service. And we are awesome when we are combined in this effort, which is great. So let me go really quickly to this offer that she had that I thought I was showing, but I'm not, or wasn't. So she just hit her 250th episode of the Prasad Principles podcast. I'll show you that in just a second, but just go to theprasadmethod.com. If you're going to hear this on replay for the podcast, obviously theprasadmethod.com is where you want to go, and you want to use the coupon code CELEBRATE to receive a 25% discount on all of her amazing offerings. She's got some great featured blogs and podcasts that I think she's highlighting on her website, so be sure to do that. I wanted to make sure to promote this for her today since she's not here. And then you can find her on Libsyn.com, Libsyn. You'll see all of her 250 episodes. This is what the episode covers look like. You can also put her in the Prasad Principles in Google, or just by her name, Dr. Asha Prasad. You will find everything that you possibly need to find in order to go there, check it out, see what it is all about. And she's awesome. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys indulging me to allow me to get on here. Let me just say and leave you with this: whatever you're thinking about as an entrepreneur, whatever you want to do going forward from a business direction perspective, I want you to be 100% committed and focused on not letting the doubters ever hold you back, especially the negative self-talk that you have. Sometimes you just have to come on, push play, and go. I mean, Asha has proven that to me time and time again, that this is the direction that we should be going. And despite her not being here today, I wasn't going to allow today to go by without us just pushing play and going. So that's my commitment to myself. I have to show up every day to be the most authentic individual that I can, be the best entrepreneur that I can, and I will continue to do the work that nobody else sees as possible, and continue to be the best possible entrepreneur that I can, and not let that doubting self-hate come into play, or the doubts of others take away my potential vision or joy of being an entrepreneur. So hopefully you pulled something out of today's episode, and Asha and I will be back with a couple of other strategies in an episode very soon, but just wanted to say thanks for joining. Definitely send along some prayers and thoughts to Asha as she's dealing with the loss of a good friend. We'll be back soon with an episode, probably live, because she'll make me go live. And until next time, you guys take care, and we'll see you soon.